So, ladies and gentlemen, I was thinking since it's Pride Month, I went and looked up. There's a whole bunch of HIV/AIDS awareness days here in the U.S. for about every ethnic group. A couple points I'd like to make. All you'd have to do is do it for two groups: homosexual men and drug addicts or drug addicts. Because when you of all the cases of HIV, the vast majority of them, it's homosexual men, and then when you throw the drug addicts in there, and some of them are I'll leave some links down to some videos I've already done on this. It's a homosexual male disease. It's spread by homosexual men, not straight white men. Oddly. And then when you add the CDC's got a lot of data on this. I'll leave links again to videos I've done on this. But when you put homosexual men and drug addicts together, that's the vast majority of them. But I was wondering why December, apparently the 1 month that pretty much the world universally celebrates is December. So I'm wondering, why don't we have Pride Month and HIV/AIDS Awareness Month in the same month, since it's largely a homosexual disease, and we can have like a drug addict awareness month for people who shoot up. You may remember in the late 1970s, New York City, this was the junkie flu, and they were wondering how these drug addicts were just mysteriously dying, and then they found out it was the AIDS virus, and people like Rock Hudson found out the hard way. And so if you homosexuals out there, if you're more like Raymond Burr, one of the finest actors ever. I've watched every Perry Mason episode there ever was. He's a great actor. But he wasn't going around, how do I put this nicely since it's a family show? He wasn't going around having sex with men he just met 10 minutes ago. He had a lifelong partner. That's why he didn't die of AIDS. That's why he lived a long life. So now people say, well, no, most homosexuals don't get this. Yeah, true, but it's largely a homosexual disease, and they're about 4% of the population, 2/3 of all the HIV cases, and then when you throw the drug addicts in there, it goes way up. Like I said, it's not a straight white male Christian disease, okay? So why don't we have Pride Month in the same month as HIV/AIDS awareness? That would make sense since it is a homosexual disease. Most people don't like to talk about that because it's not popular, and people get butthurt. No pun intended. People get butthurt when you mention the truth. Another truth about this, when you look at it, I'll throw some other things in here. Why are black homosexual men so severely afflicted by this? The numbers are astounding. But yet Asians, oddly, have a much lower infection rate for HIV/AIDS. Maybe they're not doing some of those things that a lot of black men are doing. And why is it Asians don't murder Asians, and Asians don't really murder anybody at a very high rate, but yet blacks are murdering blacks at a high rate? Is it a culture thing maybe? And when you look at COVID death rates, blacks/African Americans were higher on the list. Asians were really low, and I'm Asian too. So why is that? And why is it? So if you're a black kid out there who's doing good in school and you have two parents, I'm not talking to you. But if you're one of these rank and file Democrats from Flint, Michigan, yes, I'm talking to you. So why is it any school district I look at, too, Asians are blowing everybody else out of the water in graduation rates and reading and math proficiency? Why is that? And out in California, blacks are struggling. Asians are doing great. Why is that? In Iowa, there aren't many Asians in Iowa, but the few there are, they're doing well. Blacks aren't. Why is that? Is it a conspiracy? Did the AIDS virus and the COVID virus, it's a big conspiracy to seek out black people? Or maybe some people need a dose of personal responsibility, and it's a huge cultural problem. A lot of cultural rot in America, and until you guys admit that and quit shoveling it under the rug, admit it. AIDS is a homosexual disease, and black men are afflicted a lot worse than any other race. Black men tend to kill black men at a much higher rate. Any given year, you can put all the black homicide victims in one corner and everybody else, all the other homicide victims from any other race in one corner, and the blacks will be much larger. Why is that? Why is it? Is it a conspiracy? Is it white supremacy? So is white supremacy making homosexual men pass AIDS around and HIV around like a bong at a frat party, and making blacks die of COVID, and American Indians were dying of COVID at a much higher rate than Asians? Why is that? Maybe Asians just have a better culture. Just admit it. So I digress. But I'll say it one more time. Why we need to have HIV/AIDS Awareness Month and Pride Month in the same month, since that's the main reason, you know. Otherwise, if people didn't engage in that type of behavior, you know, getting things stuck up your, you know, rear end. Trying not to get gross here. That's disgusting. Yuck. If people would quit doing that and doing these hard illegal drugs, AIDS wouldn't be around. You know what I mean? So we can make a new flag for it. Since we have the Pride flag, we'll have the HIV/AIDS awareness flag. It'll have a syringe on it. It'll have the AIDS virus, and then it'll have another thing on there that I can't describe in too much detail. Or somebody will get butthurt and flag the video, but it'll, you know, be two guys. And you know what I mean. Just admit the truth, people. Quit hiding it. Have a nice day, and don't thank. Happy Pride Month. Don't thank me now.